going? It's Grant with the Garden of Eater.
And Shelby.
And of course, we've got our guest, Brian Covey of Aquachar. How's it going, man?
How's it going?
Doing all right.
Here, let me turn off my AC. There we go.
Hope it's not too brutally hot
How's
for
it
you.
going, man?
So, we only got one person in here right now. You got
Welcome, Mark. If it's Mark.
two people. What's up, Crypt Keeper? All right, so I guess we'll just address it right away, and then people can jump into the stream later. But we will not be doing any more videos with Chance anymore. Sadly, the whole Halfscape episodes have come to a halt. For the better of Chance, he has decided that he is no longer going to do the live streams. He's going to focus his time and energy into doing other things. So from now on, Wednesday, 10 o'clock, this spot will just be for us. Shelby's decided to continue it on aquascaping and aquarium plants and stuff like that. Brian, you're more than welcome to join us whenever you want, but it's not like a necessity like it used to be. However, we'll still be scaping our tank together in Chicago regardless. Chance, as of right now, won't be going to Chicago, so if we can convince him, he'll still be part of the team, but we won't be doing the whole back and forth on his channel, our channel. It'll just be us, and it is a little rough with 4 people on the panel, and then we bring on guests, and then it's a lot of back and forth going on, so it's a little hard. Not to say we're not going to still do things with Chance and whatnot, but I do have like that only child syndrome thing where you can tell Shelby hasn't even said really a word. I just kind of go on and on about myself. So I kind of steal the spotlight, and Chance is deserving enough of his own. So he's going to go off and do his own thing. So we wish him the best of luck. And tonight will just be the 3 of us. And from now on.
So, Shelby, you got news. You got 4th place.
Yeah, and the Boost dominated contest that was by Jenny West in the HV Aquatics. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was really cool. It was exciting. I only got like 2 days to throw that together. So yeah, I kind of lost points out on like boost maturity. I mean, like I grew all the boosts out, but putting it in that tank, like you could tell. And then some my Alterni, I can't pronounce that at all, was grown in a dry start, so you could kind of tell, but it's still really pretty and pink, and it really adjusted really well into the tank, and it's grown a lot. The new video I just posted on the TikTok actually shows the new growth and everything in the tank, so you could see that it's got the growth it needed. But yeah,
Congratulations.
But then she's giving herself, like, she's so down on herself for getting 4th place. She lost
first or last.
She lost by 6 points out of a 200 total score
on something she threw together.
And not only that, but I swear we read the rules like when they first posted the contest. And at first, I swear, she swears, I don't know if anybody else out there can vouch for us, or maybe even Jenny can say, yeah, we changed it or whatever halfway through. But when we first read the rules, I swear it said 80% dominated by boosts. And when she entered it and we were reading the rules for how to submit on like the editing and stuff like that, because like it looks like the oh my God. The other photos that were entered in the contest were like slightly altered a little bit, but the picture that Shelby's just posted on there, there's no editing. It's just a raw image. But she lost by 6 points with a huge crutch. You can tell like first place is kind of like pushing 40% boost. Like it's at least 50% moss, if not 60 or more. Like it's a lot of moss. So
it looked good though.
It is a really hard.
They're great looking.
It's a really hard plane to look good in Escape without like it being an accent to draw your attention.
Yeah.
When you see Shelby's points off, it's for like lack of like filling it out and maturity, and it's like Shelby could have easily done that, just stealing a bunch of my moss, stealing a bunch of my Anubis and other things.
I read the rules wrong. I messed up.
Yeah, so,
I definitely thought it said 80% boost, and I'm like, yeah, I'm killing it. I only got one plant. Like, how is this not 80% if there's only one? I just needed that little pop of color in the back. Like, our boost is really pretty and colorful, but you gotta like look in closer to see the color in the boost. But
can you bring up the picture of your tank since we're talking about it, and give you credit where credit is due, because it is a lot of work for not to get the same recognition. And it was cool that they did release 1st through 4th, so she was announced on the awards.
Yeah, I couldn't believe they actually included me. I was actually pretty honored with
I think
that.
because it was a boost contest, and she did it so dominant with boosts. Like she proved the point. She really did.
You can do it.
And while we're talking about contests, and Shelby's bringing up her picture, of course, because we won't be doing it with chance and everything like that. The whole contest that we're doing on this channel, we're going to set that back a little bit. We're going to give people some more time. Brian, did you buy anything for that contest? Did you get a bowl? So it gives you plenty more time to get it done. Dane, Crypt Keeper, I appreciate you guys reaching out to us. Melody and Jen, if you're watching and you still want to do it, we'll eventually do something on the channel. But like, I would like to get something, like I was just like throwing it out there on the last one, and they're like, oh yeah, let's do it next week. And I was like, well, I kind of wanted to get like some sponsored donations for prizes. I wanted to get a judge involved that wasn't going to be biased and go, oh yeah, Grant wins, Shelby wins, just because they know us. So I kind of had an idea on who was going to join us. So and do the judging. I just haven't asked. I haven't had an opportunity. We've been so busy. There used to be a rack right next to us on the right-hand side with this tank on it. The rack is not there. Today I took down that entire stand. I put all the tanks that were being held on it in storage, moved them around, played some Tetris, put that tank on the counter where it probably should have gone in the first place. It is a nice centerpiece. And then, oh man, it's just been a lot of work. So we haven't had time to message everybody and get everything done for the contest. So we'll put things more into detail, but for everybody out there that's going, oh, what contest? I don't know what you're talking about. We're having a little tiny contest. It's not a bowl contest or anything like that. It's $15 is your budget for the actual container that you're scaping. It doesn't have to be a container. It legit can be like a platform. You can do a wabi-kusa, whatever you want to do. But your budget is $15. You can have a light and a filter, but it must be included in that $15. If it's something like, oh, I got it for free or something like that, like you need to prove like you got it like at a junkyard or something like that to use it. But it should all be included. $15. What's that? I like
I'm going to a boat junkyard right now. Going tomorrow.
I'm just saying, you cool antique stuff at a junkyard that you could scape, like a headlight to an old T-Mobile. You know, that'd be nice.
That might be the thing. I'm gonna scape a boot with a headlight light.
That'd be a great wabi-kusa. But what isn't limited at all, there's no throttle on how much hardscape plants that you can do on it. So literally what's holding your hardscape, you can only put $15 into that. So it doesn't need a light. You're not going to be judged on whether it has a light. Like Shelby said, you can take this and put it on your windowsill. It can go in, a day room or something like that that has a sunroof. So, yeah, that'll be fun.
I want to say hi to a couple people.
Absolutely.
So welcome in. We already said hello to Mark and Crip. Welcome in, MTS. Thanks for joining us after Primetime Aquatic Stream. We were watching that too. Welcome in, Wayne. It's nice to see you for your first time here.
I think you've seen Wayne before.
He said it was his first time.
Oh.
And welcome in, Dane. And I hope you do beat me in the contest. I saw your comment down below. I am looking forward to it. Yeah. And then what else? Hello, Nano Aquarium guy. Welcome in. And Spaz. I keep hitting the mic. I am so sorry for everyone that's wearing headphones if you are.
I don't know if you can hear it. Can you hear it like tapping when she touches the actual boom of the mic, Brian?
No.
All right, you're good.
I'm surprised. MTS said often contests like that are more judgments of photography than the actual scape. A lot of it, I think it has to do with my background on that tank as well. Since Grant stopped talking about the other one, I'll bring that back up. Sorry.
It's more
Don't
like
bring the other one back.
The other ones were full of plants, like absolutely full to the brim. And I think
That
Shelby
background
could
is
have easily hid that entire background with some Cryptocorn spiralis and some other like Java ferns and stuff like that. It would have been an easy fill.
See, you say that, but I think that it would have took away from the depth of the tank that I've created. It looks like an island to me. I think I did get good points on depth and perception on there. You can tell that it does create the illusion that this is a big tank, and it's not. It's on my counter.
It's really hard to see on photograph, though, but you really get it in person. Like when you're at the show, if you're at Dallas, those front rocks of the Dragonstone pointing forward, there's like only barely enough gap in there to fit a razor blade to scrape it. So it's really hard to see how much real depth is involved.
Yeah.
Even with that, it doesn't.
Yeah, only thing I would change in the planning of that was maybe bring some boost forward that more towards the substrate level. That might help a little bit. But
I have little ones, but it's hard to see.
Yeah. No, I could see you. That's what you're trying to do, but you use the smaller plants, which usually in the foreground that makes it look a little bit. They make them look more small, I guess.
And Dr. Anthony, I'm so sorry. I got your order and I was just like, I am so close to tearing down this rack. I need to get this done. And I had time to get your order out. And then like 15 minutes before 5 o'clock, I found out that Monday is Labor Day and I won't be able to get your box out on Saturday. And if I'd known that, I would have stopped tearing down the rack and got your box out. But you did get your order in after 12 on the day of shipping, so it's not promised. I can't get it out, but I still would have made the effort if I'd known Labor Day. Like that's Shelby's job. She is the one with the calendar. She makes the sales for her store. She needs to carry those on over here.
Speaking about sales, I mean, I put them up a day late, saw the sale sign, so don't count on me to know what holiday it is. I'm lucky if I get anything done half the time. I got 200 tasks to get done.
And there's two other things I wanted to address. Like there's me throwing Shelby under the bus. We'll throw each other under the bus constantly.
Run them
but
over.
That's how we get motivated. We get things like a lot of people don't get our humor, but we throw jabs at each other. We laugh it off. It's just part of the thing.
Like just imagine watching UFC. That's just usually our daily like routine, you know, like hopefully one of us comes out a winner and one of us is holding the belt. Just kidding.
But clearly we see our kids, it's not a constant thing. We do it jokingly. Our kids don't have attitude, don't talk back to you. And the parents that are constantly arguing back and forth, and the kids are acting out and doing that kind of thing too. So I'm not really worried about it, but like those people that just see us a couple times on stream, they wouldn't know.
I always say in my house, I always say, I'm not screaming. I'm just a loud talker.
Yeah, that's the other thing is
or my voice carries. I can't help it.
I'm loud. My kids are loud, and it is all my mother's fault. It has been passed down. My mom will be in a restaurant on an opposite side, and just name like the biggest restaurant you can think of, like a huge Chili's or something like that. And you will be able to hear her if you go to the bathroom in the stalls on the opposite side of the restaurant when she laughs. She is so loud. She's the loudest person when you sing happy birthday. So it's just passed down. Genetics.
Well, welcome in, Leo, and hello, Dee Dee. I think we answered this question already with the contest. I hope so. If you do have more questions, just email Grant.
That
you
was
have
9
his
minutes
email.
Ago. I definitely covered that in a 9-minute span.
So you brought it up, and these so the live streams when we're talking about them, I think so Matthew Maines, who won the IAPLC, he had the top tank. He made a post today about one of the big YouTube channels had kind of basically called him out, didn't even congratulate him, said things like the plants didn't look healthy, or it's a copycat of somebody else's tank. And it's kind of, we're a little bit flippant. And my gist from the people that run the channel was basically on the live stream, they weren't prepared and it was an honest opinion, but sometimes those words can easily get twisted and stuff like that. It was handled pretty professionally. They let it play out in public. I think Matthew handled it really well because I get number one in the world and nobody can tell me I can't skate. But so yeah, like I said, doing the live streams, there's a learning curve. You're not always going to say the right thing. I personally have my ADHD and dyslexia on top of that. So I'm an expert at putting my foot in the mouth. But yeah, I mean, we're just here to have fun. We're here to chat about, scaping and stuff like that. I think today we're going to actually look at some of our first scapes. I know
all those.
Grant,
can you do that now?
Grant had promised to show Shelby's, which I actually think is pretty good.
Did you see it?
Pretty bad.
Yeah, you sent it in the group chat.
Oh, I didn't know if I did or not.
But well, I mean, this is a look back, and I can you play a video on that if I share it with you?
Yes.
You should be able to. Yeah.
I mean, the pictures I sent you is just a screen grab of some videos of my skate on my YouTube channel.
Oh, we can watch the whole video if you.
So yeah,
bring it up on your screen.
You might need to mute the video, or be talking, but I can send it to you.
Oh, I didn't mean to. Thank you so much congrats on the Aquashella. Thank you.
Quality of what?
Thank you again. I don't know. Maybe our shrimp, since he brought it from us. Are you calling us an off-brand group? Or did we miss something?
No, I rely on you to catch up with chat. Somebody said last week that Grant will go back and get the joke if he reads it. And
Yeah.
I rely on all Shelby to tell me everything.
He's going container hunting tomorrow. Nano is down to participate as well. I think we should also make it like a photo thing on our page. That'd be fun. Hello, welcome in, Daniel and Laura. How you doing? Said my tangerine tiger's colored up from you. I'm so glad to hear. It's like my favorite shrimp.
Surprised
They
the
just breed
tangerine
like crazy.
tigers lost color at all, though.
They do. At the shows, they lost so much color. People were like, "What were these?" They had like just a little bit of dots. They were distressed.
I haven't had tangerine tigers shipped to me, and we've had those shrimp for almost 8 years, I think.
Thank you, Crypt Keeper.
You still got to download our pictures too. So, what's up, Misfits, Reptiles, and Aquatics?
Hello, Killer Kitty.
How you doing, Brandon?
Did you say it right? You sounded right. Add some dwarf water. Never. You just entered the group chat?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Dee Dee. I have to tell this story real quick. So one of my best friend from middle school and everything, thick as thieves. She was sitting in the car with me and Grant one time, and she's sitting in the back seat, and me and Grant are going off on each other, and we don't have like the nicest, like we curse like sailors. We make the joke. He actually was a sailor. So and I just picked it up from middle school.
Jimmy Buffett hits hard in our house.
But we're literally going back and forth, and we're joking and saying some things, and she's just like quiet as can be. And then me and Grant just look at each other and we just start laughing. And she literally just sighs in relief, and she's like, I legit didn't know if you guys were arguing or not for a second. And then I realized you guys were messing with each other. And then I couldn't stop laughing. And she couldn't stop laughing for the whole day.
And Lucas Brett's got like the best entertainment probably on the ride there, and thought that was going to be the best that he could get. And then we gave it even tenfold on the way home. So you can imagine we were a little comical maybe at Aquascapes Dallas, but
it's terrible. See, I told you they were an off-brand. Oh. Okay, where's the video?
I sent it to the chat. There we go. So the first one is when I had dwarf baby tears in it.
Continue. Sorry.
I was just saying stop to you. I was like, stop, Shelby.
No, so my first scape. I mean, are we going into this, or are we ready?
Yeah, hold on. Let me share the screen, and then you can talk about it while it's playing.
That works.
Hold on. Let me full screen that. Does that help? Yes.
Yeah, that works.
And then
do the first one first.
Oh wait, you sent a different one? Oh,
I sent
no.
2 of
Okay,
them.
hold on.
Okay.
Let me pull up that
You're
other
making
one.
things awfully difficult there, Braun.
All right, let's see the first one. Like, you have a fancy video.
I think I'm flooding.
What's new?
Flood emergency.
December. Oh, I see. Okay, once the update. Hold on.
Funny. Aquarius are very attuned to unusual water sounds.
Okay,
Yeah, no, I heard a
sharing,
dribble,
share.
and I was like, hold on.
That ain't my money.
December, that one. Is this the first one?
Yeah.
All right. We got this.
All right. So I got my first scape tank was an ADA 60F. I think that stands for flat. It's like a 2-foot wide nano tank that has it's short. I think it's 10 inches by about a foot. So yeah, this one, I was just trying to grow baby tears, but this was my first scape. You can see the moss balls in the back of it because, you know, what scape doesn't need some moss balls in it? There's some shrimp for you, Grant.
Nice.
They were probably from you, actually.
Very nice.
Very nice.
That's funny. December of what year?
I was about to say it was a while ago. I'm not going to age myself. It's it's like 9 years ago. So
I don't think they're from me, man. I'm only like 9 years in the hobby.
Yeah. So I kind of did that upside down tornado rock over there. These stones, I like them. They were from this guy in Utah would go to like lava pit and or a lava field, and he'd pick out the stones with really good iron look to it. So I like those red stones.
They're beautiful.
Get a little bit of a pop. Some Blixa japonica. That's still one of my favorite plants ever. When you can grow that out, it's really cool.
I only have like a little bit of it going, and anytime I move it into a new tank, it melts on me and doesn't grow. And it's
what's funny is that's one of those plants that I do get a lot of melt on that anytime I change it. Oh,
it was going so nice for me outside, and then just pew, all of it melted off.
It's really good for a first aquascape, though. It's really pretty. Get some good plants too.
Yeah, that's back when I had so we used to have a local fish club here, and I would just kind of take all my trimmings to the club and be able to trade out for whatever I wanted and everything like that. So this is this part of the video. This is my first tank that I got in this house. I told my wife I was going to pick up an aquarium after work and didn't tell her it was 125 gallons and it was going to go in her atrium. So I had a little pond if you look at my channel, I actually have it where I put like an upside down 40 gallon and had the koi, going above the water type of thing.
Oh, that's so cool.
So yeah, that's that tank. And if you put the second one up, it's a little bit more mature, but I did something cool with this tank, and I actually got a carpet of sturgeon repens. So that was 13, and then I think the next one's like June of 14.
You're escaping way before us.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I think back and I actually, started this channel just to kind of meet people and be able to talk about my tanks because my wife was tired of hearing it. So yeah, this is a little bit more mature. As you can see, I got the sturgeon repens carpet. I really like that, how it popped out over the rocks kind of popped out over that. You don't see that one as a carpet too much. It's usually seen as like a more of a mid-ground plant, but yeah, highlight and trimming it down safe. The Blix is really grown out. I think I had some Pentatophyta back there, which looked really cool when it grew out on that side of the tank. But yeah, so this is my first real aquascape tank. I'm not going to include the 40-gallon Hex tank that I put plants in and bruised my arm mercilessly. So
now, Brian, before you escaped this tank, did you have any prior did you watch a channel on how to escape or what inspired you to get started on that?
So the aquascaping thing, it's funny because I've said in the past, I started off, with plants just because I watched Dustin. I never bought plants from him, but I had a bunch of people in there. So the 125-gallon was the first one I really grew plants in. I didn't scape very much or anything like that. So when I got this tank, I think I got it 2012 or so. This is the first one that I kind of worked on the detail work for. I was paying attention to the IAPLC and some of the scapers out there then. But yeah, it was just a small little community there.
You got a lot of nice little fish in there, man.
Yeah, so those electric blue acaras were right when they first came out in the hobby, and they came up and they were not cheap.
No, they were $25-$30 a piece.
Yeah, I think I paid $30 a piece for those.
Yeah. No, I remember because that's back in the day when I was spending half my paycheck on aquariums and stuff like that. And that was the second thing I wanted to address was a lot of people, I guess, have been bringing it to my attention that I have been making this too much I'm about it in for the money and not so much as a hobby anymore. And I guess it's kind of coming off that way since the beginning of the year. I kind of made it known that we were going to take this more as a serious commercial business, and Shelby wanted to do the YouTube to promote our business so we could get it out more, so that way she could establish it enough that she could quit her job. And we're halfway into that process right there. So you absolutely better believe that, yeah, my mindset has kind of changed because I'm trying to get it better for Shelby. So as soon as Shelby's back in the house full time, then you're going to see the more humble Grant. But I've probably been a little...
I just listened to what he was saying,
See, this is the back and forth and whatnot.
But sorry, since we're talking about Dee Dee, and I'm sorry, I clicked the wrong comment. That went fast. But it says, Dee Dee, your aquascapes are good. And Dee Dee said, want to learn perspective, depth, etc. If you did not come to the right stream tonight, we're trying to show you that everyone starts somewhere. And you probably have better tanks than one of my first aquascapes. So that's probably where we're going to bring mine up. But depth is really hard. Next.
Okay, that's cool.
Yours is last.
That's fine.
But
Shelby forgot about this tank, by the way. For those that don't know, we have a journal on the shrimp spot. If you want to know more about genetics and other things like that.
We already discussed this. You were wrong on which tank it was.
I was wrong?
Yeah, it's the Instagram one that I showed them the other night.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it was I thought it was the tank.
Not for the Florida State Fair is what you were thinking, isn't it?
No, I showed you my tank is definitely your first tank.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
but
no.
yeah, okay,
No,
he is right. It's gonna take me a second.
We have
you
a
can
journal on
still
the
go
shrimp
on.
spot, and it's got some of our early things, like when we did dart frogs and when we did axolotls for the first time. But it's also got, like, I bought too many rocks, and then Shelby's like, oh, I'm going to do something with these, and ended up taking those. And I remember a couple of Shelby scapes that she did after that, before her scape that she even brought up.
So terrible, some of them.
We have been doing it for quite some time, but there's different pinnacles in my life, and it's real funny that you mentioned Dustin, because
where'd you put it?
Dustin himself, you're in Shelby K. Brown and me and you talking, not in
Right.
Scape Chat.
It wasn't.
I sent it in Scape Chat, I thought. Or I never sent it at all. But I'm pretty sure I sent it in Scape Chat because Brian said he thought.
Yeah, I think.
But Dustin himself didn't get me involved. But at Dustin's booth, he hired Kevin Kelly to put together this crazy Dragonstone piece, and that's really what got me like into the creative, like diorama scenes and stuff like that. So.
No, yours.
That's actually, so the comment on the screen, that's actually a good topic for us to put on the list, because like you mentioned earlier, like in Shelby's Booster Philander tank, you could barely fit a card between the front of the glass and the rock that's there. So when you're trying to create perspective versus like a tank you can enjoy, it's completely different things. Like sometimes people don't realize that, you know, these aquascapes and stuff like that, if you look at it from any other angle, it doesn't look like it does in the picture. So, yeah, depth and perspective, that'd be a good topic to do, because, like I said, there's little things that you can learn, like how, like, not being scared to have a rock right up next to the front glass, and things like that scare a lot of people away.
So you didn't see this, Brian.
No,
I don't know what tank you thought you saw of Shelby's, but those were all mine that I shared. So
Gotcha.
No. When we were talking last week, I pulled up my Instagram of the tank that I broke, and I thought it was right before this, but because I don't remember us having boosts before. I broke a Denierly Scapers tank with one of my first. Like, this is obviously the first one. We had just learned about aquascaping, and I was like, I got this. This is a perfect thing in my head. And I go to do this tank, and I look back, and I'm like, yeah, I like it, but like, that's not aquascaping. And Grant's like, yeah, there's no depth. Is like, you know, it's going to take some time to learn how to do this. And this is a prime example. Like, yeah, it's rocks. There's plants. There's, it's there, but like, everyone starts in a really tough, and I had problems with depth. Drawing in 3D also is a problem for me. So like, it takes a while to learn how to build a tank properly. And when you think of art and you look at a painting, especially like if you watch someone paint a waterfall painting, go online, watch one, like one of those 3-minute videos on how to do a waterfall painting, and you'll see the layers they do. So then if you think and watch that video, think of doing that in a tank, and you'll see the layers and layers and layers, and like it'll build up. Like some people work front to back, some people work back to front. It really just depends on what kind of whatever you're looking for. But yeah, some people would do way better in first aquascapes, or you just fail miserably like me, who thought I was going to do so well because I'm an artist, you know? And then this is what came out. So everyone, oh man, I'm very proud of
you
her.
have a very good use of the stones. You found the right, you know, flow and size and stuff like that. Found the right, you know, face to get the arch going and stuff like that. But yeah, like this is where a lot of people, like, you know, there's nothing wrong with being proud about a scape like this when you first start off, because it's not a natural thing to lay out in your head, you know, especially like you're saying, the depth perception, you know, working in layers and trying to build it up or build it down, whichever one you like. But it's hard to see that with your actual without just looking at stones. Which order do they go? What's your focus, please? Where do you want people's eyes to go, and that type of stuff.
But then again, it takes some time to kind of learn the rules too.
Yeah.
Like there's a bunch of rules to follow, and it's not until you complete a piece and then you ask, hey, what do you think of this? You got to get critiqued. So if you're upset about criticism and you don't like being told like, oh, this doesn't look good to you, and you think your tank looks better than everybody else's tank, then stick with it and do what you like. But if you want to learn how to make the crazy depth, you've got to, like, for us scaping against Corey Hopkins at the Dallas contest, like that was a real moment for me, because in the early days, especially when we were starting to do like the Brightwell videos and stuff like that, before I would post and share the tank, I would message Corey and be like, hey man, what do you think of this? Anything like I could tweak or alter? And like he'd be like, add more twigs. So I add more twigs and be like, looks perfect. And then I'd have the confidence to go out and post a picture. So, eventually going up and scaping against him, it was a little nerve-wracking because I know he knows all the same rules because he taught them to me. So it's one of those things where until you know what gaps you need to fill and what to fill those gaps in with, a lot of times you want to place like things imperfectly, and it can't be like that.
Yeah.
So
I'm
that's
sorry,
actually
about this.
that's a great point. If you are looking into getting into aquascaping, start with plant health. Honestly, look at Dennis Wong has some good videos on how to trim your plants and make them nice and bushy. Learn those skills, because when it comes to putting together an aquascape, you can fill out like this tank that Shelby put together would look completely different if she were to plant it now. But like the lack
you just described their weakness.
So spend the time having a grow out tank and figuring out what your water can and can't grow, what you like and what you want it to look like, because that makes it so much easier to picture the depth of plants growing in and how you want to plant it, because that's a huge aspect of aquascaping. Because you can sit there and play with rocks and stones all you want, but you have to have the vision on where your plants are going to go and how you're going to trim them and what they're going to look like. And if you talk to some of the top aquascapers, there's plenty of times when they'll rip out a whole section of plants and replant it in the middle of the, right before the contest, just because they don't like the look of it or it's not filling in how they want it to fill in.
Yeah.
So growing
Like
plants is the biggest thing if you want to get into scaping, and then you start looking into how you want to, get the depth going and all of that stuff.
I think our biggest weakness is maturity, and I think that's why we love these live skate contests so much, is because you don't get a chance to grow them out. My tank that I set up at the Florida State Fair doesn't look nearly as good as the tank Shelby set up at the Florida State Fair. Her tank is way easier to maintain and control and stuff like that. So for my tank, I just didn't set it up with aqua soil and stuff like that. So my plants are struggling. It's obviously showing. The moss is coming back now, but
like sand.
If I would have done CO2, the plants probably would have never, melted off and gone through that phase. So I need to lock in and get a CO2 tank going, get a farm tank going, and then not be afraid to crank the CO2 when I'm doing these aquascape style tanks for competitions and stuff. I'm quite mad at myself for not doing the C-Chem or the past competitions. Shelby made it in one. I'm upset with myself.
Yeah, that's also a huge crutch is not running CO2 on an aquascape tank. I mentioned to you guys earlier how I noticed that a lot of these scapes they're very moss dominant. The top IAPLC ones that came out this week, they're moss dominant because when you can't do the Photoshop and stuff like that, the easiest way to make a tank look mature is plugging in the dead patches and figuring out how to cover your seams or make it look perfect for that photo. You can't. So What people don't realize is like you've got every tank's going to have to be teared down eventually. All these tanks are meant for that one photo peak, and long-term maintenance is not the main goal. It's for that photo. So
almost all aquascapes last for about 6 months. That's their average critical life, like their peak moment is for 6 months, and then it's all downhill after that. People get bored, they tear the tank down, they start with something new.
Yeah, I think Stephen Chong showed one time, like 6 months after his number 2 tank, I think he had it still running, and it looked like somebody like the average hobbyist to just let it grow out type of thing. So yeah, that's the thing you got to remember about aquascaping. If you're going to do a contest and stuff like that, you're building your tank towards that goal with the depth and all that perception, but it's not necessarily going to look like that photo for very long, and it's not going to be easy to maintain it that way very long. It reaches that past the point of maturity.
Now Shelby already took her tank down, but do you remember like any experience or anything like that you had? Like the same question that I asked Brian, like what got you to start doing the tank? Because I remember what I said in the post, but do you remember what got you to start doing that tank?
What do you mean? I'm
like
not
why did one
question.
day you just start the aquascape and do your own tank? That's not it, but
I figured that wasn't.
Because he saw your tank. She saw your tanks and said, "I can do better than that." Yeah, just that.
It does make sense. It does make sense, but.
Or were you inspired by somebody? Because it was before we went to the aquatic experience. So, why did you decide to set up that tank? Do you remember?
No.
Competitiveness. It has to be.
There's a lot of different reasons, but.
Shelby's quiet, but she's probably one of the most competitive people I know. So.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Because of that tank?
No, not because of that tank.
Oh,
but
that was your first tank. Okay.
That's just my first tank.
I don't remember anything because I remember you got the Blue Dreams and you said that I was able to scape a tank. So I was like, oh yeah, but I mean, I don't remember. There's a lot of things that pique my interest and I forget very easily.
So I remember
like a goldfish.
we don't have like really good pet stores near us. I know there's Bad Fish and there's another one that opened up in Jacksonville. Those two I hear are really nice. But the ones around us, 45-minute drive or shorter, they're not very nice. And this one pet store managed to have some nice rock in the back corner. And they'd probably been there for ages. Like you could clearly tell they don't buy new rock on every shipment order or whatever. And Shelby really liked these ones. And
is that the?
No, it's not lace rock.
Right.
We went back there and
talking about Bob's Feathered Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went back there another time and they had lace rock too, and that was
the lace rock is what got me one time. It's I don't know if you've ever seen it. It sucks to aquascape with because it's flat. It's flat, but it's got all these beautiful like holes. It looks like lace, and it's just really, really amazing.
That's why I was gonna save like another time, and you guys were wondering like how many tanks are we gonna showcase. I was like, well, let's just do the first ones tonight, and then we can do some progression ones because that first one is always a doozy.
It's bad. Know what I mean? I remember getting so mad when I got done with it. I was like, why can't I figure this out? And mind you, that's a 30-gallon like Aqueon tank, like the short.
I think it's a 20.
It was on the 30-gallon rack.
It was the top, the tank.
No, it wasn't. It was the middle.
It's not a tall.
Yours was the top. I can't bring it up now.
All right. Well, I'm telling
you. Yours was the top tank, the rainbow petrified wood. Then our Blue Dream was in the middle because they died. No, I remember Blue Dream dying.
That tank was on the counter before the counter tank.
You're driving me crazy. I know where it was. Yeah. Driving me crazy. It was a middle tank, and it had issue after issue after issue. We redid that tank so many times, but it was a 30-gallon. If it is a 20-gallon, that's even worse because it's even harder to work with such a smaller footprint and a weird thing. But I just remember getting so mad. It is like one of the most stressful things is trying to create depth in a tank, is trying to figure out like how am I going to do that? And if you watch videos, you can definitely tell by the gravel and different methods on building the depths.
So Andy asks, how much gravel should I add to a 10-gallon tank? That really depends on your goal for the tank. I could use a 20-gallon or a 20-pound bag and do a nice sloping aquascape and just have enough soil. Or I could use, a 5-pound bag and get away with it and just grow some Anubis and boost on a log or something like that. So it really depends. I suggest buying like a 9-liter bag and then go in about 2 to 3 inches if you're planning on doing plants.
Yeah.
But we're talking about depth. And one of the things that you can kind of gauge yourself and increase the depth perception a little bit is sloping it front to back and raising the elevation. So that way it looks like it's a little bit bigger than it actually is.
Yeah.
So that was actually something that it took me a long time in aquascaping to really learn the importance of that is, that you can go pretty high in that back area and figure out ways. So like you were mentioning, to create depth, most people go front to back. I always have to go back to front because I've got to figure out what stones I need to put in the front to keep my slopes together and stuff like that. So it's not just making it look good with the rocks. If you do a slope, you got to realize it's going to settle. It's going to, try to flow downhill and stuff like that. So it's very hard to, the slope thing isn't as easy as a lot of people think it is. And it has to actually be integrated into your scape from that standpoint.
Yeah. Big thing about, so the good thing you brought up is supporting those rocks. And a lot of people get that misunderstood too. Structure is the biggest thing. And I learned that the absolutely hardest way with 2 of my scapes for the Florida State Fair. I had really beautiful tanks and I won first place with it, but it was like these 2 mountains going together and like all these sticks coming up. But we literally got it to the Florida State Fair and it crumbled. It just fell apart. And I got so frustrated, I started crying because I'm over emotional. Like I wore the emotional shirt tonight just to let everyone know. Like I definitely got really sad and I was like, it's ruined. And he's like, no, just relax. And it's like the sand kept coming out and I had to rebuild it several times. And then the same thing happened with my next scape. I thought I had wedged enough rocks into the corner and made this huge corner tank and it flowed real nice and it looked good. It crumbled as well. The sand came out, it all came to the bottom, and then it took up so much of the front of my scape. It just really took away the illusion I was trying to create. So getting that part of aquascaping down, that structure, is the most important key to me and how I got better at my last 2 and was able to win the 2 contests or do okay. And I'm like, I'm not obviously an expert at by any means. Like I'm still a beginner myself. I'm still on that first stepping stone. But structure, like we have talked about in every stream, is the bad with names. Is that plastic?
A thermoplastic.
Thermoplastic. I keep trying to call it polyform because that's what I work with every day at work. It's plastic bumpers. So, the thermoplastics is what kept together my recent scape for the boost. That's actually all held together. If you watch my TikTok video, you can see it's all held together so good that you can rinse it with a hose outside because someone forgot to wash the rocks. Don't forget to wash your rocks, people. Or you're going to ruin your aquascape. And then the other one is with rocks. I structured the wood. So like, the first scape that I did really well, and it's still going to this day. It's really nice. It does not budge. Like I could shake the tank and it's not going to go anywhere. So it's just getting that down will help you in the long run. Sorry to go on that rant.
And then
we'll have to do a thermoplastic video so you guys can show them a little rockscape and how that works, because I think people I know when I learned it from Kevin, that it was an eye-opening thing for me from a standpoint of it solved a whole lot of problems that I put a whole lot of time trying to make rocks fit in places. And, try to use like super glue and stuff like that. It just you guys know it breaks apart. They always find the weakest spot and it falls apart if you try to move it or anything like that. So yeah, the thermoplastic thing. I took the main rocks from the Aquascello in Orlando and brought all the way home, and it didn't fall apart with the thermoplastic holding it together. So that was interesting.
And then while we're talking about the substrate, one of the things that we learned in the very first skate that we did together is the front of the tank. If you're trying to do an aquascape, that is your canvas. And if you're going to waste some of your canvas with a layer of substrate or a 3-inch thick layer of substrate, you're going to get points off for wasting the canvas. So you really want to escalate, the substrate front to back. So that way in the viewing point of the front of your canvas, there's only a little minute amount of substrate there, but it needs to fill in enough that it's not, spaced out and you're seeing bare glass.
Yeah. So you guys know with the substrate up on the glass and everything, that's how they take the pictures for the IAPLC. They'll actually draw the water line level down versus trying to bring the substrate up. That's an important thing to remember. Like, people don't realize, like, sometimes people have escape and like the water level will be down to here because that's what creates the depth and everything like that on some of those IAPLC scapes. So it's always a good thing to remember.
So Dane said, boys, remember to treat your lady right and wash your rocks. Sounds like a squash soap commercial. No, I should have just washed my own rocks. I literally get it all structured together. And I look at Grant and I'm like, I'm so stressed out. I'm like, I cannot believe right now that I forgot to do this. Like, I forgot to wash the rocks. And Dragonstone, if you don't know, is one of the dirtiest rocks. And it has clay pockets and everything. So you have to get that out, especially when you have to take a picture the next morning, because it is literally the deadline the next day at 12. And it's at 12 o'clock. And we didn't know if it was 12 o'clock our time, 12 o'clock their time, or what it was. So we were panicking to get that done. Mind you, it was in between traveling to Louisville, Kentucky, and then to Aquascella. So in that day that I got back, right before Louisville, Kentucky is when I set up the tank and then let it mature for like a week or 5 days that we were gone. And then I had to take care of it, maintenance it, and take pictures. So did you say wash the box or wash the rocks? Rocks.
And then she was panicking. She's like, what am I going to do? And I was like, don't worry, I got this. And I went outside. I grabbed one of the tables outside. I set it up. And she's like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, I'm just going to spray it down right inside the tank. And she's like, you think it's going to hold? I'm like, yeah.
Sometimes I think you live in a different world than I do.
Why, was it your idea?
Yes.
I swear it was my idea.
It was my idea. We live in two different worlds sometimes. It's okay.
It's our idea.
Worlds collide. Great things still happen.
This is a different dimension, Shelby.
Different dimensions, yes.
What's mine is mine, and what's yours
is the fourth dimension. Are we going to get to your tank now?
I guess.
This is his ugly tank coming up. Don't worry. I'm just kidding. I pressed the wrong button. I love this tank. It was beautiful.
So just like Shelby was like, I had no idea that was my first tank. I didn't know this one was like my first one. And the only reason why I know is because I went into the journals, timestamps. Like back then, I shared everything on that journal. If I set up anything, it went on there. Like there's some pictures of Jaden's old room, which was my first room. And you can kind of see like it was NASCAR themed. There wasn't room for anything down there. So finally, when I cleared out one of the 55-gallon tanks, I bought a bunch of spiderwood. And the piece on the right-hand side is one solid piece. I think I spent like $75 for it.
That's a 55-gallon?
What's that? It's a 55, yeah. So there's actually two big 20-gallon sponge filters in there. You can kind of see the one on the right-hand side. I didn't hide that one enough. The one on the left-hand side is definitely hidden. But before I bought that big piece of spider wood. I had some smaller pieces, but like the box that I was buying, he's like, well, this one piece is going to create a lot of air in the box. Do you want some smaller pieces? So most of what's on the left-hand side are the smaller pieces. And then I kind of like try to find like two pieces and nothing really worked good. But I really liked the look of the jungled mess when I threw multiple pieces together. And I kind of hid the cut pieces because I even knew that back then that the cut pieces were really unnatural. So I tried to hide them the best I could. And I was having friends come over and they're like, oh my God, this is the coolest tank ever, da 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 da. And I don't think I was like on Facebook or anything like that. So like all I was seeing was like other tanks that are on the shrimp spot. And that was kind of my inspiration, was like, there was like, I think Han Tron probably had like a really nice spider wood jungle style tank or something like that. So earlier days, like that was kind of my inspiration. I remember there was also this one guy overseas in Asia who had some crazy hardscape, and maybe one day I'll go like look those up and I'll look at them now and be like, they're horrible. Why did I look up to these and think they're good? Or maybe I'll go like, oh wow, like these are still really good. I don't know, but
so
I'll go hunt those down one day.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up because like I remember back then, like putting a big Madagascar lace, like that was a showpiece plant. You know, when it came to aquascaping back then, like you know, people love, like they'd never seen anything like that. So being able to grow a big, you know, Madagascar lace and stuff like that, or any type of the bulb plants and stuff like that, you know.
My favorite plant.
I have a funny story about
of it grown out a little bit more. If you can bring that up, you can tell your story while Shelby's.
No, I had when we used to have the fish club, I had a lady who I posted that I had a 24-inch sword, and she thought I was talking about swordfish. So she got really excited and was ready to buy it at the auction at the club. That's the story.
Yeah, no, I've had several things like that. Like I'm about to sell a sword, and somebody's like, "What? You got a sword for sale? You deal with swords?" I was like, "Oh no, it's an aquatic plant." But Shelby's trying to find, just like your tank, you got one of yours grown out. I have one of mine a little bit more grown out. It lost the lace plant though.
Because we put it in a different tank. That's why.
Gained a bunch of swords. No, it's the same tank.
Was I scrolling? Everyone was watching us.
Yeah. Was that?
That's not a Nacris in there?
I muted you. I'm sorry.
Oh, we were all muted. What'd you say? I'm sorry, Brian.
You got some Anacris in there? Is that what that is over in the left?
No, it's not a Nacris. I can't remember what kind of plant it was. I got it off of Han, and it was like real bushy at first, but then it got real stringy afterwards. Man, I was
all
of it. No, not all of it.
Did you hear the part where I lost the lace plant, gained a bunch of swords?
Got it.
Yes.
So
they were watching us scroll. I forgot to stop sharing the screen. I'm not good at this. Don't worry. But yeah, that is really sad. No, we moved it to a different tank because it was blooming.
The lace plant. I remember that. Yeah. I thought you said you moved all this to another tank. I was like, no.
I mean, eventually we did. We still have all these pieces somewhere. They're all broken up or into a different tank.
That piece is legit. The piece right here. That is this tank right here.
Nice.
Still in there.
That is it. Right
still the same tank and everything.
Well, we took out all the smaller pieces of driftwood on the one side.
Yeah.
And then there was a tank below this one that had the piece of driftwood on the left.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Dane said the question is, do you wash in a tote or a colander the stuff at the bottom as thermoplastic cover? I don't know. Washing what? We washed
you threw me off when you put thermoplastic.
Yeah, that's where he got me lost.
I thought you were going to ask if we washed like the rocks.
We just take them to the driveway.
Yeah, out to the driveway, pressure wash them as far as you can without them like breaking the rocks apart. You want the clay to get busted up, but leave the dragon stone, There's other more brittle stones as well, but you want to use caution. But it's the fastest way. Everything else, you're washing clay into clay for days.
Gotta come check out the fish after Repticon and see if we want any. I want them all. There's no like ifs, ands, or buts. I just want all the fish.
All right, yeah. So we're
I don't have
definitely
room.
there's no ifs, ands, or buts. We are going to Repticon this Sunday, Dane. So we can come by and see you. We got to make it up to Layla. We didn't have enough time to go to the reptile show before Triple Crown, and then of course I woke up and didn't put enough water pressure to the washing machine, so we thought that was broken. So that stalled us going to the Daytona reptile breeders. But Tampa has some really good Repticons, so we'll be able to get everything we need for Layla for her birthday and get her 2 chameleons. We got to make a trip over to after Orlando or Tampa. We got to make a trip over to Orlando, and I got a customer who now breeds panther chameleons, and he's got unrelated pairs. So I'm going to go to him since he still buys shrimp off of me. I might as well, go to him to buy chameleons. So,
have you seen the videos down in South Florida where like those are like an invasive species, the panther chameleons?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I haven't seen panthers. I've seen veileds, and I've seen the ocelots, but I have not seen.
I think it was Clearwater area where I saw the panthers.
Yeah, I've maybe seen one like female or something like that out, but not like the videos where I see the guys walking through the woods just grabbing veiled chameleons and throwing them in pillowcases. I haven't seen them to that number, so.
What we got next?
Up to you.
I don't know, man. That's our hour. We basically wrapped everything up.
I think we'll do progression tanks maybe next time.
Yeah, I got some cool ones. I actually scaped that 125 gallon that was out in my atrium. Doing a 6-foot scape is a completely different beast.
That's ridiculous.
I had gotten or split a pallet of some Tom Var Manzanita.
Oh, I love Manzanita wood so much. It's so cool. That's one of my first scapes that I won first place in the Florida State Fair was with the Manzanita wood, and that'll be my next one because that is like my next No, I have some really ugly ones I need to show next.
Yeah.
I thought that I could do some artistic stuff and like throw some red sand in with some crazy maple leaf rock, and man, that thing was hideous.
So I got distracted. Xanadu said that he placed his first order, so I went to bring it up and figure out what he was, and then I was going to let him know that because Monday is a holiday, his order won't go out until Tuesday, and bear with me if it goes out on Tuesday because I've already got orders placed before yours, and I won't have this lovely lady right here to help me out on Tuesday. I'll be all solo dolo, so if I don't get it out until Wednesday, I apologize, but thank you for your order. And then I didn't hear what you said. All I heard was Tom Bar Manzanita. So what did you say about Tom Bar's Manzanita, Brian?
Oh, we got. I split a pallet with some friends here in Jacksonville, and
recently or a while ago, long time ago, right?
Yeah,
I remember. I was like, you did it recently. I need to do that, man.
I was going to say I need to find some more fish friends that want a bunch of Manzanita.
Mm-hmm.
Splitting a pallet is actually pretty fun. Like we just laid it out and we just each picked our favorite piece, and he gets some really cool stuff.
I believe I'm going to be splitting one with Eddie here in the near future. So
nice.
I will legit cry. I will literally cry if I could come home with a truckload of that will literally make my whole day. You have no idea how cool that
All right,
is.
so maybe instead of spending $750 with Tom Bar, we'll just drive to Oregon.
I'm literally gonna have the best time of my life in Oregon. Honestly, we have so many people there that we know and have become so close with.
Like,
I'm
when I
gonna
get
be
tired
so
of Grant,
happy.
I can just make Gerke pick him up, and I won't have to worry about him.
Yep, it's exactly what it is. I'll be like, yeah, you could just go hang out with Gurky. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Where'd Shelby go? Oh, she's just walking the Manzanita woods.
And I've got a shrimp buddy that plays paintball. I'm sure I could find somebody there that plays golf.
Oh,
I'd
man.
be all right.
Oh,
Golf in the
if we don't
mountains.
go to paintball soon, I'm going to lose it. Like, I
Oh,
can't.
I was thinking we could go to paintball, but we're going to Danes. So I don't know about that. I'm thinking paintball.
I can't do both in one day.
Paintball Repticon. We're right there. It's 3 miles away. Not even.
Yeah, it's pretty hot. Maybe we could get like an hour of paintball in. Only buy a case.
I got so much paint left over. We can only buy a case.
It's terrible
paint.
paint.
I'm gonna let it rip.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna run down the field and gun down little kids. We're going to like some crummy place and play on the woods ball team.
I'm not playing woods ball. I'm playing speedball. I don't like that woods ball. It's boring to me. It'd be fun if I run up and down the middle and just get shot 1,000 times. That would be fun for me. I think it's so boring. I can't sit there and then like these little kids are standing next to me. They're like, hide me, help me. And I'm like, no, push them out. I didn't do that yet. Not yet.
Danikin said he doesn't have the patience to chase a little white ball around. I hadn't played for like 7 weeks or whatever, and I stayed under 90. And hey, I had one ball that I probably put three streets away. Besides that, I hit many fairways, and it wasn't even off the tee. I just hit a freaking 3-wood, and it just went forever in the wrong direction. Besides that, I have to chase the balls around. I'm pretty good.
It happens.
Yeah, no, I can't. I don't have the patience for golf either.
That's why I like it.
I suck. Well, here's the thing. I can't see for anything. So when he takes me the first time golfing, which was not too long ago, first time ever, I hit the ball and he's like, yeah, where'd it go? I was like, wait, I was supposed to watch where it goes. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, Grant, I can't see like 10 feet in front of me. Like, there's no way I can play golf. Like I'm like, unless you want to watch the ball and see where it goes. Like I cannot play golf. I don't understand how people can play golf. Like, how are you guys having that good a vision? I cannot see 10 feet in front of me and people can see a little tiny golf ball go like yards. Get out of here.
My dad blows my mind. He needs glasses, but you put a golf ball out there and he'd be like, it's right there.
I can't do that. No.
I'm just good at like figuring out which direction the ball went, unless I hit it right off the tee and then I have no idea. But if I can catch a drift of where it's going, I'll be fine. But
no.
All right. So next week, what do we want to do?
I figure next week we'll do progression. We'll bring up more tanks and talk about it, since people want to learn about depth and whatever the audience is going to get the most benefit of. That's what we should do. So it seemed like
maybe we can do a poll.
We could do.
I haven't done a poll on our page yet. So
what kind of gun do you have, though?
Yeah.
Adam? You're not a real paintball gun guy, though, unless you have a certain kind of gun.
If you get a rental, you're done. I'm kicking you. You're banned.
I'll let you slide with 2 brands. 2 brands.
Destiny Midwest. Awesome. Look at that.
Where are you located, Adam?
Finding some good
Midwest.
Midwest, obviously.
So I usually find more golf balls than I lose, but I end up finding like a bunch of like real crummy golf balls. So like Jaden has an unlimited supply of golf balls, and I would like use them and chip into like the ditch down at the end of the road, but we've been getting so much rain, it is full of water. I was telling Shelby I was thinking about getting like a little jet boat or something like that. We'd take down to the end of the road and just womp around a little bit.
I can't find it. You're gonna have to send it to us. There's too many things coming up. Strangest things. I don't know why. That's so cool though. Yeah, there's a lot of women that play paintball in our area too, on a lot of the teams. So there was almost like a full girls team that was playing in VPS. So it was cool. It's really cool to see.
Destiny is one of the bigger teams.
Danny's Says 38 snub nose, hammerless. Oh, paintball. Sorry. You would be good with our friend Dante. He's like, I have real guns to shoot.
I'm so upset that I have so much money in paintball guns and then spend like nothing on real guns.
Professional player for 20 plus years. That's insane.
Oof. Those professional guys are crazy.
Yeah. We ain't that good. Grant's pretty good. I'm subpar. I don't know how to run fast, so it's really my downfall. But I'm really good at home and going to the closer bunkers.
She's really good for how many hours she's actually played.
Yeah,
like for her just starting playing last year and getting out into it and stuff like that. And we haven't played since I broke my ankle. That's big of the part of the reason. I would like to prefer to get into it and get conditioned when it's like nice and cold out, and then it gets too hot. And then Dane asked, "Are we planning on making a live stream?" I don't know. I kind of just go with the flow after an hour. I already like thought about ending it 9 minutes ago or whatever, but then we started talking about other things, and so it kept the flow going. But yeah, no, we at least commit to an hour. If we can do 2 hours or 2.5 hours like we did with Sean, I have no problem with it unless Shelby's begging to go to bed. I can usually go on, but
yeah, World Cup is literally only 2 hours from our house.
Oh,
we did not get to go. It's at the what were we just at for Aquashella? It's at the same place, Brian.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Orlando Aquashella is at the Gaylord Palms.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was all set up, and we were like looking at it, and my coworker at the time, the first one went there, and I was just I was so upset we missed it.
Oh, you
got a Planet Eclipse,
so you're safe. I got Shelby a 1.6 LV, and I have a Geo4. I had a CS2, but I sold that. I like the Geo4 just a little bit better. I even, for like Mother's Day or her birthday, I custom dyed the grips to her paintball gun purple.
Yeah, they're cute. It's a cute gun. That was like it was my face. It still is my Facebook profile picture, I believe. Yeah.
But it's so hot in Florida. I don't want to play paintball, really. I know my buddy's been begging me to go paintballing but then he's like, "You want to go golfing?" And I'm like, "Yep, I have no issue golfing."
There. Paintball.
Your hands covering up the grip.
Oh, you're right. That's the whole point. Yeah, the Gaylord is beautiful. Just sucks for food.
Yeah, it is like the perfect vibe and atmosphere for Aquashella when they do their events there. Like especially walking through the place at like 2:00 in the morning after you just clocked out of setting up the expo. It's real peaceful walking through. All the animals are sleeping, got all the water running and stuff like that. You don't get that at the Renaissance in Chicago.
I don't know what you were just talking about.
You'd have to email us at granteater@gmail.com. I think this is a great time to start. You put over. I don't even know where the box of cards went with all the stickers and membership stickers and stuff like that.
Dane wants to throw in for a Tom Bar palette.
I believe that's something we can do.
Let's do it. I need it. I want to enter into the IALPC next year. So we have our tanks, and I am set, and I need the wood. So.
Have you heard about the maze in the house, Brian?
No.
All right.
You talking about the tanks? Your little office?
This tank right here, the stand is going to go sideways. So the next time you guys see this stream, it'll be totally different. We'll have to slide over so that this tank will be the only tank or something. But this one's going sideways, and then it's going to go out towards the hallway.
Okay.
And then we're going to build another rack in front of there and another rack in front of that. I don't know if you know where the flower horn is. So those will be 2 racks right there.
Yeah.
And then basically anywhere in the house that I can fit other aquascape tanks, that's where the Fluval skate tanks are going to go.
Nice.
So there's only going to be enough room. Shelby's only condition was enough room for the laundry basket to fit through. So as long as the laundry basket fits, we're good for it.
pretty. Oh man, did you see his?
Yeah.
Sorry, but Xanadu just pointed out the water massage will change your life at the Gaylord Spa. So guess what you're getting me? That's what I think I deserve. We're gonna stay an extra day over the
An
Gaylord
extra
next.
day.
Yeah.
We'll just
the
day we get there early, you just go do that.
Okay, well maybe then I will be a better person for the whole time and won't be so cranky and stressed out. But yeah, looks like that's what you're getting me for our anniversary, because it usually falls around our anniversary. Like we had to, what was it? Yeah, we had to work through our anniversary to get ready for Aquashella Orlando.
But we didn't have to. I didn't just go, Shelby, we're working tomorrow. There's nothing we can do about it. I got a phone call from somebody that wanted a large order, and I was like, I absolutely can do that. However, it is our anniversary, and that means we're gonna have to do all of that on our anniversary. So I need to talk with Shelby first, but you're probably gonna have to pay up front or like now, so I can bring her out to dinner tonight and tomorrow night, because there's no way I'm gonna be able to like convince her otherwise. And so Shelby was for it. We basically made all of our money for Aquashella that we needed to before we went to the Orlando Aquashella. So it was comforting.
Poor Shelby losing more square footage in the house. Well, actually, I'm gaining it because a lot of it's going to be my fish tanks, so it's okay on this one. But yes, it is. So it's more stressful for. We moved the rack out of the middle of the living room, and Xanadu is the best. Sorry.
Oh man.
My gosh.
There you go.
Thank you so much. That is awesome. And if you don't do it, he's gonna be mad at you. But the rack in the middle of the living room, we finally broke it down today, because it's been collecting tanks upon tanks in the middle of the living room, empty ones and empty things. But the kids were literally spinning in the middle of the living room, and they're like, so much room. I'm just looking at them. I'm like, I feel so bad for the kids that are just like, they don't really get up from their chair, but like you give them more room in the house, and they're like, all of a sudden they're like, oh wow, like we've never had this possibility.
And I'm just like,
they're so funny.
There's so much room outside.
But it is also like 100 degrees.
You have a front yard still until they put in like non-HOA regulations and stuff like that. I can't put ponds outside, so out front. Till then, you enjoy the front yard. Adam, we 100% plan on putting wood on the website, even if we don't get it from Tom Barr. We don't have any room in our garage, but I've already made it quite clear. We've been buying plants from nurseries. We've been holding it down here. Whatever I don't have room for here, we've been holding it down at Eddie's house. Eddie has a storage container.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh.
Well, much appreciated. But Eddie's got a storage container, and he made room so we could put a pallet of wood in there. So one way or another, we will be getting wood, and we're going to be putting it up on the website. So
Dan said, I need the hardscape and trying to complete in the farm this winter.
I hope you complete in the fair this winter and not the farm.
Well, we don't compete in the fair, but yeah.
The Florida State Fair, yeah.
I know, but in the winter we don't. It's in the.
I think the deadline is, so maybe he does. I don't know.
We're gonna have
I don't know what you mean by that.
I'm gonna have to put together. I'm gonna put together an actual tank for that this year.
Listen,
that's exactly what the kids said. I'm sorry.
If you and Mike Bernard don't enter, I'm gonna be very upset, because the two of you. I understand.
We were honored to keep your tank on our counter for the longest time. We were honored. It was good.
COVID made it tough to get down there, but I want to take the kids down to the state fair for like the weekend, like actually make a trip out of it and go to the state fair, because it's really a cool fair.
We should all be together. That'd be awesome.
I need somebody to go on rides with me.
Yeah, Grant could stand there and hold our jackets.
Yes.
No, on some of the rides. I'm just not about the rides that drop. My stomach does this weird thing, and my whole body tightens up, and I stop breathing.
The only ride he does is the super fast, like woo! It goes in like circles, and
That's
it's
a
like the
spinny ride.
crazy fast.
She won't do the
I
UFO.
want the sketchy ones like the Gravitron.
Yeah, can't do it. Can you?
She talks all this smack about, oh, he doesn't, and I'm like, well, there's other things that you won't do that I'm fine with doing. I don't want to drop. I'm sorry, and I don't want to go on those sketchy swings. I'm sorry.
I have no problem. Sketchier the better.
Huh?
Sketchier the better. I like playing the odds.
No,
I mean, how many years it's still up and running? That means like the percentages, you're not likely to die.
So he was right.
Yeah. He said end of winter, not end of year. I think we were both thinking end of year is end of winter.
Yeah, like December, I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was about to say Florida January is winter.
I guess so.
It's just nice enough at the Florida State Fair if you go on the right day. You don't have to wear a jacket.
Oh my God.
It feels like outside's AC.
I just won't ever make the mistake of wearing
sandals.
It's
gonna get so cold.
It was literally like 90 degrees. It was so hot. So I'm wearing sandals, shorts, and a regular t-shirt. And we're with Eddie and everyone. And it's like 7, 8 o'clock at night, and all of a sudden like the wind just starts blowing and it drops down to the 60s. Yeah. And I'm literally like at the end of the night, my feet were purple. And I was like almost in tears leaving. I'm like, definitely wearing tennis shoes again. I usually do, but I bought these really pretty sandals. So I was like, I'm going to wear these like an idiot. So wear tennis shoes.
And I had to go and borrow one of Eddie's jackets. I didn't think it was going to fit.
Yeah,
but
it was.
Eddie
hilarious.
likes to wear things that make him look bigger.
If you haven't seen Eddie, he's quite shorter. So I definitely did not think it was going to fit either. But I think Eddie's 5'6", 5'7". He's almost as tall as me, so he's got to be 5'6".
So Grant, you used Eddie's jacket. You didn't give it to Shelby.
No, she had a jacket. No, yes, you did. Yes, you did. You were wearing my jacket.
No.
Yes, because I brought a jacket and you didn't bring one in, and I let you wear my jacket. No, I'm not. You had a jacket.
I brought a jacket.
I didn't want to carry a jacket around, so you brought one. I didn't want to carry my own jacket.
I had my jacket. I gave it to him. Ariana threw a fit at the fair about me giving the jacket to him because he was cold, and she saw that I had goosebumps and purple feet, and I was like, but I can handle it. Grant's from a warmer tropics than me.
No.
I'm the same way.
When I went and got Eddie's jacket, she was taken care of, and I had to walk for like.
I was just
Eddie
kidding.
went the wrong direction for his car. Like Eddie
Have a good night.
needs to remember where he parked next time for sure. We walked around the complete outside of all parking and the fair because he didn't know where he parked.
Jane said, once you said it, though, competing in the farm, maybe I'll try. And maybe my ducks show ducks. Diversity, my ribbons. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I want to do the plants. I've been trying to do it for like the past 3 years. I actually have some plants this year that are really nice. One's struggling. I feel bad for that plant. We both looked at the same one. We're like, I know that. So I saw a TikTok the other day, and it was a girl that has like this beautiful greenhouse and 500 plants. And I mean, it's absolutely picture perfect. Like, you're like, wow, you have the best green thumb. And she's like, for every green thumb, there's this. And she turns and it's a pile of like 100 dead plants. And I'm like, if that ain't me, my entire garden does beautiful. Most of my plants, but I always have that one dead plant. One dead plant. But you ready?
Yep. I'm done for the night. It's been a long day. I got all the water changes done on the rack by the front door. All the orders out today, except for Dr. Anthony. Sorry. And tore down an entire rack and moved all the tanks.
Because I wasn't here.
Played Tetris. I moved a 40-gallon tank all by myself through the garage. That was sketchy.
Yeah, now that I think about that.
Leverage.
If he would have broke that, he would have just had to buy a new one. So Doesn't matter.
I
It's up
didn't.
to him.
I didn't break it
But-
like you broke the glass table in the hot tub.
Oh man. Oh, do you even know that story? Yeah. Stubborn women. When a woman asks you to do something, you better do it. And not wait 6 months later when she's pregnant and she decides to move the 8-foot table by herself and shatter the whole thing into the pool. Well, at least it wasn't the turtles and like koi fish at the time. That would have sucked even worse, but better. Sucked even better. I'm getting tired. It's my dad's birthday tomorrow, which is the mug I got out today. He made this by himself. Isn't it cute? But it's his birthday tomorrow, so I'm gonna get to bed so we can have a good day after
Absolutely.
I get off work.
Well, thanks for joining us, man. Thank you, mods and everybody. Have a good night. We will be doing a giveaway on our channel next week. It's holiday. It's Labor Day, so we're gonna do a Labor Day giveaway. Also, the sale is still going on for the shrimp inside Jaden's room. That's probably going to go on for another week. Tangerine tigers, we got plenty of them still. So if you guys want to place that order in, get in on the deals. Probably going to last this final week here. All right. Later, guys.
Have a good night.
Bye.